Today is a bittersweet morning. Today was the last day I took my niece and nephew to school daycare. I have mixed emotions right now. To be honest with you, I don't really know how I feel. Now, some of you may be thinking, okay, what's the big deal? Well, for the past year, my life has evolved around my niece and nephew. I have been their caretaker. I have absolutely loved having my niece and nephew with me. And to make a long story short, it has had to be that way for a little bit just to help my sister out. But now I'm like, I have freedom. Like, toddlers really, like I said, I love my niece and nephew, but toddlers can make travel difficult. And a lot of times I would just bring my niece with me because she's a whole lot easier than my nephew. And she's older, so that helps out. And plus, she loves to go places with Auntie. But now, like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's just so weird. So weird. And I'm just like, what do I do with my life? I don't have kids to take out of the car. I'm like, wow. But all that to say is there is super exciting news. So I've had this dream job for as long as I can remember. And it's just been one of those things that's always been put on the back burner because I just was like, it's just not going to work out. Like me, it would never. And anytime I would ask about this job when I was around people, they're like, yeah, you need to do it. So I thought, how hard can this be? How hard? Little did I know there is a lot that goes into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be a flight attendant. I am so excited. Oh my goodness. Oh, it has been a super long road to get where I am right now. It has been, I wouldn't say super stressful, but it definitely has its moments where I'm like, okay, what's happening next? I literally just went into this like, okay, I'm going to apply. Let's just see what happens. 8 rejections later, I was very close to an interview or getting a final interview. Close to this, close to that. It's a lot. So let me tell you what goes into becoming a flight attendant. So the first thing you obviously do is apply. And the tricky thing is and on Indeed, they could say all these airlines are applying, but there are some fake sources and some real true sources. So I had to find that first, and then I just started applying. I applied to Republic, SkyWest, JetBlue, Endeavor, Delta, Breeze, Envoy, IO, Airways, and last but not least, CommutAir. The thing you need to do when you apply is you apply, and then pretty much every single airline that I applied to, there was an assessment right after. The new email I got, they're like, please take this assessment. And it's based
that we can't get special cheese.
Oh, okay.
And applesauce and goldfish.
Oh, thank you. So anyway, so you take these wonderful assessments. They're like 30 to 50 questions long. And most of them are basically the same. Okay, thank you. It's basically the same questions over and over and over. Basically, they're trying to see if you answer the same kind of question twice. And it gets irritating after a while. After you take this assessment, depending on the airline, it could take a month. It could take a couple of days. It all depends on the airline, how long it's going to take before you hear back. Depending on how well you did on the assessment, sometimes it will take 24, 48 hours. And they'll say, hey, sorry, pretty much a thanks, but no thanks. Goodbye. That kind of thing. So there are actually like 2 airlines that I got pretty close to getting an offer. There was Breeze Airways. I did the assessment, and then I did a group interview. And in the group interview, there are like 10 people invited to this interview. It's a Zoom call. And then actually only 4 of us showed up. So that was to our advantage. And it's just basically they're just trying to get to know you and answer some situational questions. And I thought I did really well. And there was another girl that I got in contact with after the group interview. We both thought we did really well. But within 48 hours, we were both thanks, but no thanks. That's their polite way of saying, no, you have not been chosen. And I had to say, I was really heartbroken about it because I really thought this was like my chance. I'm like, but then I realized after communicating with people on Facebook, on a group, they were like, this is not your choice then. This is like obviously not the airline for you. So I moved on. So people kept telling me to apply for CommutAir or Frontier. So I applied for Frontier Airlines, and I have flown with them before, and they're okay. Like, they're not, I don't think anything great of them, but I applied for them, and then I applied for CommutAir. Frontier seemed to be moving quickly. I did my assessment, and then I did what's called a virtual interview, which basically is your assessment, but you're videoing yourself. So my email had gone down for a couple days, and I got super nervous because I'm like, what if I hear back from them? Like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And then like, I did not hear anything, which was just really weird because all these people were hearing things besides me. So CommutAir, literally, I remember sitting at my desk, and I'm like, they're like, what? I was like, what? I was scheduled for a phone interview. The phone interview I did was so easy. Like, I was on the phone for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. The lady made it super easy. She was super sweet. Asked like 3 questions, and then she said, okay, when would I be available to start for training? And she said, okay, the next step is you're going to get a virtual interview with myself and one of our other employees here. And I thought, great. So then forward a week later, I have my virtual interview, my Zoom call. I dressed professional. Obviously, I did not dress like this. Let me show you a picture of what I look like. I was like, I wasn't nervous because I already knew what I was kind of getting into. But let me tell you, CommutAir made it so easy. I loved the 2 interviewers or workers that made this process just so easy. And by the time the first interviewer had asked me all the questions, the second one was like, you already answered all my questions, like, let's just close the interview. And I was like, okay, this has got to be really good. So at the end of the interview, they just, like I said, made it so sweet, so simple, and just so much fun. The experience, so much fun, that they said, okay, it could be 24 or 48 hours before you hear back from us. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, no. She said, but the both of them were communicating. They weren't in the same room, the both interviews. They were obviously in different rooms. They were communicating with each other on the computers. And they said, we both love you so much. We want to offer you the job right now. And I was like, yes, yes. I was so excited. I felt like I had just been applying to all these different ones, and I knew the right one was going to come along. Now, some of them, you may be asking, okay, who is CommutAir? CommutAir is pretty much the regional airline for United Express. So pretty much anywhere regional here in the US. So all the smaller airports, they might go to some bigger airports, also to smaller cities in Mexico and in Canada. So I am just thrilled. My other biggest thing was getting in with these airlines. I did apply for international one called Omni. They contract with the government and do most of our military coming back and forth from the US. And you had to have the vaccine. And I have a medical exemption. And if you would like questions about that, you are more than welcome to leave comments below, and I'm happy to answer them. But I do have a medical exemption, but they would not honor that. So I was running into a lot of that, mostly with international, not as much as mainline. And thankfully, CommutAir does not have me do the vaccine. So, but then just 2 weeks ago, my dream airline opened up applications. Y'all, they were only supposed to open the applications for just a short period of time. And I tell you what, I think everybody was on that site because the whole site went down. It didn't open until the next day, and we were all just waiting. There was a Facebook group of us just like waiting for this airline to open up, and they did. And now I'm in like the 3rd out of 4th step. So if I do get this with my dream airline, I will be going to them. I don't want to say who it is yet because I don't know if I'll be going to them. But right now, I'm beginning the process of CommutAir. I've already had to fill out a lot of paperwork, and I'll be telling you about that in just a minute. I just finished my drug test for the airline. So many things to do to prepare to become a flight attendant. You may be thinking, what? Well, let me just start off. Lots of paperwork to sign off, and you only have so much time to complete it. And if you do not complete it in the allowed time, then your offer is cut. It's crazy. And my drug test, I didn't drink enough water, which if any of you knew me, I drink a ton of water. But at the time, I had just like gone to the restroom before I left to go do the test. And then I get there and I'm like this much. And she's like, oh yeah, no. So I was there for an hour, like drinking I was drinking water every 20 minutes. So 3 8-ounce cups of water. And yes, so yeah. And now I think I've cleaned everything. I think they know my entire life, which, I mean, obviously I'm going to be responsible for lives, so that's probably a good thing. But yeah, lots of things to do before you become a flight attendant. Now that I've completed that, you may be thinking, well, what are you doing now to get ready for training? Training starts November 2nd. I am going to be flying down. They are paying for my flight down to training. It is 3 weeks of in-class training, and then I get to come back home actually the day before Thanksgiving, and then I have 2 weeks of allowed time where I'm going to be spending one-on-one time with the flight attendant for 2 days. So the reason they give us 2 weeks to get that completed is because depending on availability of flight attendants, that depends on when I'll be doing training, but it will happen sometime in a 2-week period. So whether it is like I'm home a week and then I get a call saying, hey, we have a flight attendant available, we got to get you there. I just have to spend 2 days with them. Pretty much everything that I learned in class, I'm going to be using, in front of everyone. And so that way she can see me as well, because I will be the only flight attendant on the aircraft that I'm assigned to. So the aircrafts that I will be on, they're 50 passenger ones. So it's very small. So there's no need for two flight attendants. So I'm basically like my own boss, except the pilots that are ahead of me are like the head people. So I'm super excited. A lot of people don't like working by themselves, but I'm excited. I've done it before, and it's a fun challenge, and it will let me know if I want to stay with them or go to somewhere else in the future. But I feel like this airline is perfect for just getting me started in the airline industry. So super excited. But in the meantime, I got this wonderful guide. Yay. And I've gotten lots of tips already from so many people. And there is actually a young lady there right now in training as we speak. And it has its moments. But I feel like as long as you know what you're getting into, and you know if you have the right heart and the right attitude, that says it all right there. Says it all. So in the meantime, I'm going to be studying my tushy off and just really preparing myself. But I am just so excited, and I just can't tell you. This has like been a dream of mine, and I am going to be sad to be leaving. That is one question that was asked in my interview: is how do you feel about leaving your family behind for really important events in their life? Now, I've been very unfortunate. I'm the oldest of 5. I've been here for all their graduations, every one of high school graduations, pretty much all their college graduations. I have one brother who just started college, so I've got 4 or 5 years, depending on if he wants to get his master's and whatnot. But I feel like I've been very blessed to be here for really big events. And I hate leaving my niece and nephew, but I know they are in a good place now, and I can visit them, and I have a really good bond and relationship with them. So I'm not super worried. So I'm just so excited. So please wish me luck as I get ready for this. But I was so excited to share with y'all. And I wanted to be 100% sure that I got an offer from an airline before I told y'all, because I didn't want to be like, yeah, I got this offer, and then it just didn't work out. But wish me luck, and then we will see if I get my dream airline. If not, it's okay. I can apply again later. But for now, CommutAir, here I go.